Hello, I'm Chrissy Seaton. Reincarnation is a Jewish concept, and many people may not realise that. Our soul is actually attuned to God at all times, whereas our body is involved and attuned to the physical part of the tangible part of life, of living. And everything has a soul. People may not realise this also. So everything has a soul. The Jewish name is called Nephesh. And humans have a soul, as we understand, of course, but also animals, vegetation, minerals, meaning rocks, etc. Every part of God's creation has a Nephesh. And so it has a spark of the divine within it. All of creation has that piece of the divine attached to it, the same as we do. And that's our soul. So every soul is not only essential, but it's, my dogs are barking, sorry. Every soul is essential and very important, and it's essential to God, our Creator. So first of all, let's go back to the time of our conception. At the time of our conception, our soul is assigned to us by God, Hashem, and that soul that He assigns to us has a particular task or mission to accomplish during our lifetime. That it's part of us, that the soul belongs to us, and therefore, for reasons not always understood to us, nor is it essential that it is understood by us, but therefore that soul, our soul, may have to have more than one lifetime in order that it may accomplish what its divine purpose is, what its mission is in lifetime. So, and it may, as I say, need more than one lifetime so that it can fully complete that purpose. Now, we learn from the Torah that God breathed life into Adam, that is. The breath of life is actually our soul. And that comes from Genesis chapter 2, verse 6 to 7. And I'll just read that for you now from the Tanakh. Verse 6 commences, "A mist ascended from the earth and watered the whole surface of the soil. And Hashem, God, formed the man of dust from the ground, and He blew into his nostrils the soul of life, and man became a living being." We're told that the purpose of the mist that ascended was to soften the soil, moisturise the soil so that Adam could be formed from the earth. So it's quite plain there that the breath of life that God breathes into us is our soul, and that allows us to live. It also is part of what gives us the power of speech, whereas animals and other elements of creation aren't able to have that power of speech as we do. Things occurring in our physical lifetime, that's our personal physical lifetime, each of us, is actually a continuation of our soul's journey from a previous lifetime. So it's a continuation of that soul's designated mission and purpose. It may not be able to complete it in one lifetime. So therefore, it has to continue on into another lifetime in order that it can complete that purpose. So when we say we're all born with a purpose in life, certainly meaning that that soul that has been assigned to us by the divine, by Hashem, has got a role to play. And that is purposely placed in our body, so to speak, at conception. So it's not a random occurrence. It doesn't happen just willy-nilly. So there's a reason why God provided that soul for us. And this is where it gets interesting. So the important thing to know is that if we could see the past and understand the present that we're living in and see into the future, which we cannot, but if we could, we would fully know that God is, first of all, he's supremely just, he's merciful, and he is truth in every aspect. He is truth. So, and God is one. Completely, God is one. He's infinite, never ending, ever consistent. So, therefore, we would understand more fully that everything that God does is for the good of us all. So, there's nothing that God does that isn't for the benefit of mankind. And we also need to understand that there's also what, it's hard to find words to describe, but we need to understand that there's a lifetime or a story, so to speak, behind our lifetime that we're not even aware of. So we don't know about what happened in that soul's previous experience. Now, a soul cannot cease to exist. It is part of God, and it is part of God, and it is never ending. So that soul can't just cease to exist. When we look at ourself, meaning each of our own self, we're seeing a part of the divine. That's God. So the divine spark is our soul. When we say the divine spark, that's what we're referring to, that our soul is from the divine. So we're a partner, and we need to consider and recognize that we are a partner with our soul, and we need to consider that responsibility to our soul. So, in other words, we're partner to our soul's continuing mission in this lifetime with us. With, my soul's partner to me, and it has a continuing mission. So therefore, it's important that we, as the humans, progress the soul's mission. Now, the first thing you're going to say, well, how do you know what the soul's mission and purpose is? Well, technically we don't. However, we do know that it has an assignment. And sages of old and our learned rabbinical scholars indicate that a good sign is those very things that we find the most difficult to perhaps overcome, or the most difficult to accomplish, the most perhaps troublesome thing that is part of us, then that is often an indication of what the soul has to overcome. So what's the most difficult is often the actual purpose that we have to accomplish that. We have to overcome that obstacle. We have to find a way around it, etc. So we are a partner in our soul's journey, and we need to take that seriously. It's an honor. It's an honor. And God chose to put the soul that I have with me at the point of conception. So I have a responsibility to the divine, to see that I help the soul accomplish this. And it's something I want you all to think about during perhaps the next week, because this will continue next week and become part 2 of reincarnation a Jewish concept. Please subscribe to my channel, press the like button, leave a comment if you would like, and I want you to think about what I've said, and please take care of yourself, and I will see you next week. God bless.